It's Friday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to The Pulse. Welcome to you live from our studios here. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Faustina Safo. This afternoon, widow of late Ayawasu East MP formally declares her intention to contest the seat as the National Democratic Congress opens nomination for the parliamentary by-election on Saturday.
Difficult for her to stand or to win the election. It will be difficult for her.
There are a lot of aspirants, but for now, until nomination forms are open tomorrow, and you see how many people pick the form, you can't categorically say we have 5 people, 10 people, or 20 people contesting.
We have details plus gauge reactions from the constituency this afternoon on The Pulse. Also coming up, former majority leader Oseche Mensah Bonsu has dismissed claims of any organized parliamentary support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in 2023, insisting the former vice president will emerge victorious in the January 31 polls.
Nobody, absolutely nobody spoke to me. Nobody said my name MPs in Kokasa. And God is my witness. Me say God is my witness. Nobody.
We have details as he cautions against division and calls for peace ahead of the NPP flagbearer election.
Hearing that the respected Professor Frimpong Boateng saying publicly that he did not vote in 2024 elections. This is what division can do to us.
Also this afternoon on The Pulse, Ghana Bar Association loses exclusive accreditation to issue lawyers' licenses after the General Legal Council accredited the Ghana Law Society to issue professional licenses. And also coming up, JoyNews is bringing the fun closer to you this January as the Joy brands take over Achimota Retail Center for an exciting 3-day family experience dubbed Joy at the Mall. Remember, The Pulse, as always, is brought to you by Defendro Cough Expectorant. Defendro, breathe easy, feel better. My name is Faustina Safo. Please stay for details. Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. The race for the Ayawasu East parliamentary seat is taking shape following the announcement by Hajia Amina Adam, widow of the late MP Mahama Naza Toure, that she will contest the upcoming by-election. Her decision has drawn mixed reactions, with critics questioning the timing so soon after her husband's passing. The Electoral Commission has set Tuesday, March 3 for the by-election in line with constitutional provisions after the seat became vacant. Hajia Adam says she was persuaded by appeals from constituency, party grassroots and traditional leaders to continue her work based on the passing of her husband. Even as her declaration dominates early discussions, it also revives historical interest in cases where widows of deceased MPs have successfully won by-elections. Here's a Newsdesk report.
Since the start of Ghana's Fourth Republic in 1993, there have been a handful of notable cases where the wife or widow of a deceased member of parliament or parliamentary candidate stepped in to contest elections, often following the death of their husband while in active politics. These cases, though few, have all ended in electoral victory. The first recorded instance dates back to the year 2000 in the Esutifi South constituency. Cecilia Jan Amwa, wife of NPP parliamentary candidate Dr. Philip Kofi Ejapon Amwa, entered the race after her husband died in the run-up to the general election. The party selected her to replace him, and she went on to win the seat. In 2016, a similar situation unfolded in the Shai Osudoku constituency. The NDC's parliamentary candidate, Desmond William Oklu, died in a tragic road accident before the general election. The party subsequently nominated his widow, Linda Obiniwa Akwele Oklu, who won the seat and has remained in Parliament since. The other high-profile case occurred in Ayawaso West Wogon in 2019, following the death of NPP MP Emmanuel Chematin Ejakon. Lydia Sarah Malasan, who had a prior relationship with the late MP, was selected to contest the by-election. She retained a seat in that controversial Ayawaso West Wogon by-election. In the Tempane constituency, the death of NDC MP David Adakudugu in 2019 paved way for his wife, Akamvariba Lydia Lamisi, to enter the race. She was chosen as the party's replacement candidate and won the seat in 2020. Again in 2020, following the murder of sitting MP for Infanteman Echo Hayford during the campaign period, the NPP selected his widow, Ophelia Hayford, to contest the election. She resigned from the Ghana Police Service to run and won the seat in December 2020.
Well, in the last few hours, the National Democratic Congress has also issued a formal statement outlining the roadmap for its parliamentary primaries in Ayawasu East as it prepares to select a candidate for the March 3 by-election. And that statement is coming up on your screens right now. It reads, the National Democratic Congress hereby informs the general public, party members and prospective aspirants of the following arrangements governing the upcoming Ayawasu East constituency parliamentary primaries in the Greater Accra region. When it comes to the filing of nomination forms, the party states that nomination forms shall be obtained from the Greater Accra Regional Office, and completed nomination forms must be submitted on the same office to the same office upon completion. When it comes to the delegates list, the party says that the official delegates list shall be made available to all aspirants upon verification of payment of their approved filing fee into the party's official account. The filing fee is what you have on your screens. The cost of the nomination forms, 5,000 Ghana cedis, and the filing fee is 40,000 Ghana cedis. Female aspirants and persons living with disabilities shall be granted a 50% reduction on the approved filing fee. So they'll be paying 20,000 Ghana cedis. They go on to state that no checks or bank drafts shall be accepted. All payments must be made directly into the party's official bank account, and they go on to state the party's bank account details in the Adabraka branch of the UMB Bank. So those are the details there put out by the NDC earlier today. My colleague, however, Stephen Mensah, has been engaging some constituents in the Ayawasu East constituency on Hajia Amina Adams' intention to contest. This is what they said.
It's difficult for her to stand or to win the election. It will be difficult for her. But let's put our fingers across and then see what will happen. With support, we will support her. I mean, it's like election. Someone will be like, I will support her. The person will go behind the polling station or behind the ballot box, and then the person will be like, oh, I won't allow this, so let me just give it to the man. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm a Christian though, but I don't know whether she will win or not. I'm confused. I doubt. Yeah, I doubt.
It might have been better if someone else had contested in her place.
We are more concentrated on our inner primaries, that is to elect our parliamentary candidate. So after that, which is going to happen on the 7th February, after that, then we all come together and proceed towards the March 3rd election. There are a lot of aspirants, but for now, until nomination forms are open tomorrow, and you see how many people pick the form, you can't categorically say we have 5 people, 10 people, or 20 people contesting. Depending on who and who are going to pick the form, that is where we draw the line that we have 3, 4, or 5 people contesting. You know, East Ayawaso has been a backbone and NDC purely constituency since '92. So everybody is looking up to the NDC. Who are you presenting? Who is coming? Who is leading you? That is why we say everybody should keep calm. Let's wait for February 7. After that parliamentary primaries, we present a better candidate for East Ayawaso.
I'm confident that his wife has a strong chance of winning the election.
Well, let's speak now to the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Divine Otu. We appreciate your time. I also have with me the Deputy Director of Election and IT for the NDC, Rashid Tako Computer. I appreciate your time, gentlemen, here on the Pulse. I'd like to start with Rashid Tako Computer. You've just been telling us other individuals who are interested in vying for that position. Give us updates on that.
Very well. Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers across the globe. Indeed, as a political party, we've slated tomorrow, 24th January, for the opening of nomination. So officially, we don't have candidates, and we also don't have aspirants. It's only tomorrow that we'll be able to tell who and who will pick nomination and proceed to file say. But I can assure you, the contest is going to be very interesting. It is going to be keen because it's a constituency that we cherish a lot. It's a constituency that we respect. I love them a lot. They are good people over there. And I'm sure by the end of the day, they will give us a worthy replacement.
And I'm sure you know a bit about Hajia Adam, the wife of the former MP for the area. What's her credentials?
Well, I know her. She's the wife of the late MP. They've worked together in the constituency as couples. And then she's also a strong party member, of course. She worked with us during their campaigns in 2024. I know much about her, very, very much about her. So that's what I can say about her. We just hope that the contest will be very civil. It will be straight to the point. Others will come in, and then the delegates will decide who should lead them in the constituency.
But apart from her, which other names within the party have declared their intent to at least pick up forms tomorrow?
Well, I've heard of the Ghana High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency
Kamal Abdin.
Baba Jamal.
Okay.
Baba Jamal. He has declared his intention to contest. I've also heard of Alhaji Azindu, he also was a contestant for the last primaries that was held, where the former MP emerged. He was also a contestant in that one. Don't forget, Baba Jamal was also a contestant in the last elections, where the MP, Honorable Nazar, emerged winner. And so they are coming back again. I've heard others to loosen their boots to pick nomination. So all this, we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow when we open the nomination officially to see who and who will come and pick the nomination forms.
Now, let me bring in the MPP, Divine Otu. We appreciate your time. You will be contesting this seat, will you not?
Yeah, we are contesting.
And so far, what are the processes internally to select a candidate? How is it going?
All right, thank you, and good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Yes, we had a National Executive Committee meeting yesterday, and a decision was taken that the regional party constitutes a committee to look at the processes of, deciding on who represents us in these elections. Before then, the constituency executives met myself and then made a proposal as to who they think must represent them. That position was made known to the National Executive Committee yesterday, upon which the directive was given that we constitute a committee made up of the regional leadership. And in addition, Honorable John Wedu was assigned to, join that committee. So we'll be looking at that on Monday, just to firm up a decision as to who is representing us. Once that is done, we move into the constituency and start engaging, the stakeholders in preparation towards the elections. Bear in mind, we are in the process of electing our flag bearer. So the party itself is quite busy with that process. However, this is an election that NEC has taken a decision that we are taking part. And for that reason, we need to also give some attention to that process. So this is the arrangement that we have so far.
So is it the case that you will not go through the process of opening nominations and what have not? The party will just select a representative to lead the party?
Yes, that decision has been made. We would not be, running primaries. We would select a candidate that everybody thinks okay, and then that candidate will contest on our ticket.
But this is an NDC seat. How do you plan to turn your fortunes around in the upcoming polls?
Referencing the 2024 elections, you will agree with me that there's no constituency that you can say that this is an NDC, this is an MPP seat. Any party at all that organizes well with the party at the constituency, united, focused, and working hard, can win the election. So we should be open to such surprises that can happen. Yes, I agree with you to some extent, because over the years, the NDC has been winning that elections. That is not to say that the MPP cannot win. The NDC succeeded in winning seats that traditionally were won by the MPP. So the same thing can happen. And so I think that we should keep our fingers crossed. Let's get in the process and see the outcome.
The former MP's wife has declared her intention to contest the seat. Aren't you concerned that sympathy vote may tilt to her favor? Should she even be selected by the party to lead that constituency?
Well, over the year, that appears to be the trend. Quite worrying, though. But, well, that's what it is. And the NDC, I'm told, would be going through the process of selecting, how do you call it, their candidate through primaries, for which reason we cannot for now say that the lady would automatically emerge the candidate. Once they are opening nomination and there are others who are also interested, chances are that others other than the wife emerge the winner of the primaries, for which reason the lady might not be the candidate. Be it as it may, considering the trend in situations such as this, the wives of the deceased always, emerge winners if they get into the race. I don't know if the case in this situation will be different, but let's wait and see after their primaries. Then we'll know who our opponents will be. Then we can talk about it.
Thank you so much, Divine Otu, for your time here on the Pulse. Let me wrap up with Rashid Tango Computer. You've heard from the MPP, they are coming strong. Your candidate is going to be determined after you open nomination. But then we just know, at least, that the former MP's wife has declared her intention. Seeing that you may have a daunting task ahead, knowing the MPP is coming for that seat, what will be your strategy and approach?
Well, I mean, they are welcome. I thought they were going to keep some small respite they have with the Ghanaian populace to keep off from the constituency. But if they've decided to come and then contest, why not? Let them come. They are welcome to the race, but they should prepare. We would hand them a heavy defeat. You know it. We told them in Akotia, it came to pass. They chicken out in Tamale Central. Instead of them to chicken out in Ayawasu East, they will now want to come and join the race. Let them come. We are ready. I can assure you, whoever emerges as our candidate from these processes that we are going to embark on, the person is going to win hands down. The party is going in strongly. We are not going to even say because it's our constituency, it's our strong area, we are going to relax. We are going to full force. In fact, full force into the constituency as soon as we get a candidate. And then we are going to swim into the constituency to let the electorates get to know that the best party for them as of now is the NDC. The NDC is performing. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is performing internationally. Look at his rating, it's going higher. Prices of foodstuffs have gone down. we have kept faith with the good people of Ayawasu East. And then so therefore we are going to send these messages to them. And we are going to make sure that we increase the margin. The last election, we had over 22,000. The MPP had little over 9,000. So how are they going to win this constituency? In fact, we are thinking of increasing the margin and reduce them drastically. That's what we are going to do.
And what will be your strategy?
Well, of course, our strategy is to make sure that we sell the good works of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to the good people of Ayawasu East, that is Nima and its environment. That is the strategy we are going to move in there.
Stay with me. Let me bring in political analysts to examine the growing trend of widows of deceased members of parliament actually stepping forward to represent their late spouses' constituencies. Is this a development we should even encourage? Is it healthy for our political system? And what impact really could this emerging pattern have on parliamentary work in the country? Join me now is Eche Sika Anku, Professor Eche Sika Anku. He's Dean of School of Journalism at the University of Media, Arts and Communication. Prof, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. It's been a while. So I'll start with saying Happy New Year. But let's just look at the...
Happy New Year.
Let's look at the development we're just hearing when it comes to Ayawasu East. We're hearing from the wife of the late MP declare her intention to contest the seat. Is this a development we should even encourage? Is it healthy for our political system?
Yeah, Happy New Year once again. And it's indeed been a while. Greetings to your panelists and to everybody else watching this afternoon. So this is not really a very strange phenomenon. If you compare it to other democracies or jurisdictions, it's been happening since 1922, believe it or not. And as we are speaking, in the U.S., for instance, they have about 48 widows throughout their history. 48 widows have become members of Congress or the Senate through what is known within the academic literature as widow succession or widow politics. And so in Ghana, we do have our own history. If you trace the trajectory, we've had quite a number of these situations happening. Esutisi South, Shayo Tuduku, Ayawaso West Wogon, where we had Lydia Hassan, who was the Infantiman constituency, Ophelia Hayford, and then Tempane. So we've had our own history of that as well. The argument for it is, are pretty explicit. First of all, there are that it helps to increase gender representation in parliament, especially if spouse is a female. This is because historically, very difficult, women face a lot of challenges when they stand for political office, and I think that is there's an agreement that across board. If you look at it, for instance, the success rate of women politicians is less than women politicians who became parliamentarians who we do succession. You get me? So the like women to get into parliament is higher when they come in that route than when they just come in without the depth.
And let's even explore the impact on parliamentary oversight, especially when we're looking at competence. Usually during elections, you have sympathy votes, so individuals may tilt towards the candidates that has passed on their spouse. But then let's look at the trend that we've experienced over the period and the competence of the individuals who have been elected into office.
Yes, so there are also arguments about the competency thing and the qualifications and the substantiveness, because of course, when the major criteria is sympathy, or the major criteria is, for instance, continuing the legacy of the one who died, or the major criteria is just using the spouse or the widow, then of course competency seems to have taken a back. But if you look at our example here in Ghana, for instance, you would realize that Honorable Lydia Hassan is one who has been quite successful in holding leadership positions in parliament. And so at some point they have a front line for a leader. So we might say that, in terms of competency, that did not have suffered too much. Also, not all others participated had a frontline like Honorable Leader Hassa did. Some of them mostly were quiet. But at the end of the day, the argument that others have made that it helps bring women within the front line of politics. So that's just one of the advantages that we might get. And then others have also said that it helps to improve the quality of representation. So if if you look at those who have participated in Ghana, for instance, apart from Honorable Lydia Hassan, we had Honorable Linda Oklu from Ayawasu East, who ended up serving on the Government Assurance Committee as a deputy ranking member. Okay, she was also on the Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs Committee as a member. And then for the Infantiman constituency, Honorable Ophelia Hayford, she was a vice chairperson for the Defense and Interior Subcommittee. And for Lydia Hassan, before she took over the position as first deputy majority whip, Honorable Lydia Hassan was also part of other committees. So this is the trajectory, right, from Ayawasu West, Ayawasu East, Infantiman, and Tempany. This is the trajectory of the females who have come in through the spousal succession or the widowhood succession. And so I think the jury is out there for us to have a broad view or assessment of their contribution. So that is it as far as qualifications is concerned.
And looking at the trend, is this worrying moving forward? Will this not incite other women to have thoughts about, what they should do to get into parliament? Is that even something we should consider?
Well, so when you look at the pro-con argument, right, the pro or the advantages is what we've said already, that it's a gateway for women to get into politics. It helps to increase representation. There's some form of continuity of the legacy of the person who lost their life. And sometimes, when it's very sudden, political parties do not have that much time, so they use the widows or the spouses as placeholders while they regroup. But then the disadvantages is what you are now talking about, which is that there is a certain incentive for foul play. That, people might tend to harm their spouses because there might be a reward of them taking over their seat in case they lost their lives or they die. The other disadvantage is also that it tends to have a certain toll on those who are approached to run on behalf of their dead spouse, because they may not have been prepared to take on such a responsibility. And also they may be mourning, or they may be going through a certain depressive moment, trying to catch up with all that has happened to them, and then all of a sudden they are being thrust into politics. And then the last one is the meritocracy argument. Some have also said that it undermines meritocracy, because those people may not have been prepared for the office, they never dreamt of it, they probably don't even have the qualification or the experience, and that it therefore harms the quality of representation. So there are advantages and disadvantages. It just depends on who runs for the office. If you have a spouse who seems to be prepared, who has the qualifications, then it becomes a double advantage. So I think we got to look at it on a case-by-case basis and then assess both the sympathy vote, but also the quality of the people running, and I guess the constituents will make a call.
Thank you so much, Professor H.S. Kanko, for your time here on the polls. I still have with me Tanko Computer. Your final words as we wrap up the conversation. Looking at your preparations so far, what should we expect in coming days?
We are prepared for the primaries. Tomorrow, it will be open at the Greater Accra office of the NDC. Forms are available there. We have enough forms to take care of the number of persons who have expressed interest to file. So we'll be ready for them tomorrow morning. And I can assure you, we are going to have a very smooth process. It's going to be a level playing ground for all the aspirants. As we mentioned, the delegates list. Let me put it on record. The delegates list, we are using the old delegates list, the one that was used in the last election that elected the MP, our late MP now, the same delegates list. So if even a delegate pass on, we are not going to replace anybody in that list. And so that one is there, it's intact. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to be added. And we use the same delegates list. So in terms of being free, fair, transparent, I can assure you, we've done it severally. In all other areas, nobody has raised any comms in terms of the processes. I mean, we have perfected our system. We are still doing a lot in it as a directorate, election directorate. I can assure you this time around, we will still deliver a very smooth process for Ayawaso East, and they will have a candidate who is going to emerge the winner come March 3rd. The person is going to win. That one day I can assure you, because we are zooming in and we will make sure that we sell the good works of the NDC government and what we have done so far and what we intend doing, and then the people will go along with us.
Thank you so much, Rashid Tanko Computers, Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. Let's stay with politics, because the former majority leader of Parliament, also Chairman Saponso, has dismissed allegations that there was an organized parliamentary backing for candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in the 2023 NPP flagbearer election. His comment comes in response to comments made by senior party members, including John Peter Mewu and others, suggesting that the entire party structure was whipped in line to vote for the then vice president.
In the past election, I would say the playing field was not level at all. It was a fact. I sat in cabinet, and I know, and I talked to my colleague ministers, and I don't know what happened at that time. The party executives, the members of government, I mean, including top government officials, they all tailored towards one particular candidate, which we know, obviously, and that was His Excellency Dr. Bawumia. And from the national party to the constituency party, regional party, all the executives, were supporting him. And most ministers, members of parliament, district chief executives. So the government machinery then under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was handed over to, Dr. Bawumia to pursue his flag bearer agenda. And that was exactly what happened.
But speaking on Ekosiseng on Asempa on Thursday, the former majority leader dismissed the allegations. Listen.
Yeah, with media, I don't know. I was, at the time, I was the majority leader.
Sure.
Nobody, absolutely nobody spoke to me. Nobody said my name MPs in Kokasa. And God is my witness. Me say God is my witness. Nobody. And a friend, sir. Now say, Sanye canon so. It has been said, they say, in the lead up to 2008.
Yes.
That system also every punk for Alan Jamati. Those comments were made.
Yes.
Akufo-Addo Jina Yeno. That system no back. Is that not the case?
Sure.
Akufo-Addo Anko Wene.
Oh, we need.
So if people have trust in you, regardless, regardless, I don't want to recline and then deal with those matters because as I'm saying, any me dancing.
Yes.
Nobody
spoke to
me. Say, oh, any MPC. I was a leader at the time. Say, any MPC in Kasa. And I said, no. Nobody.
But the
president at the time.
Being honest, no, the 37 Ken got a surprise, Okakra. To be very honest,
it did. Because you see, me say he harvested from the discontent
in the system.
And the
narrative also push here.
Allah so pull it out.
Okay.
What you say?
Okay.
Then microphone you answer good image.
Okay.
What you say?
Okay.
Could be possible. Say this time be a unyasa.
Let's stay on the NPP because caution against division in the party is increasing as aspirants enter the last days of campaign ahead of the presidential primaries on January 31. The subject took center stage at the signing of a peace pact among all 5 aspirants on Thursday. Let's first listen to the minority leader Alexander Feyo-Markin speaking at the program at Elisa Hotel.
Let me start off by saying that opposition is painful and lonely. We know this. Good friends don't pick up calls. They ignore us and they find new friends. We are living it. We feel it every day. And surely, none of us wants to remain there. We want power to serve to transform lives and to move Ghana forward. But power does not come through division. Power comes through discipline. Power comes through unity. Power comes through sacrifice. Let's note, the history of this tradition teaches us a simple truth. Whenever the MPP is united, it is formidable, and whenever it is divided, it bleeds, and Ghana pays the price. Remember the 1979 election, the PFP and the UNC. The rest we all know. Factionalism may energize internal contests, but it weakens the party's capacity to win national election and to govern effectively. And I was saddened hearing that the respected Professor Frimpong Boateng saying publicly that he did not vote in 2024 elections. This is what division can do to us. It's unfortunate. Unity is not a slogan. Unity is conduct. It is a discipline to disagree without destroying one another. The humility to accept outcomes we may not like, and the maturity to place the national project above personal disappointment. Every single insult traded, every unsubstantiated allegation, every attempt to demonize a rival today becomes a weapon in our opponent's hand tomorrow.
While former Chief of Staff Frima Osei Opare says unresolved deep-seated divisions are the reasons for the NPP 2024 loss.
Distinguished presidential candidates, in my work as the chairperson of the party's Conflict Resolution Committee from 2010 to 2020, it became clear that our electoral losses, both in parliamentary and presidential elections, can be largely linked to the many internal conflicts within the party and our inability to heal faster. We are unable to forgive ourselves, reconcile, and move on after our internal elections. The National Council of Patrons admonishes that under no circumstance should the choice of the delegates in any of our internal elections degenerate into irreconcilable disagreement, knowing that most of the positions in MPP remain elective positions. This peace pact that we are about to sign today is not only for aspirants and delegates, but also for all of us as MPP members and sympathizers.
Away from politics, Provisional National Road Safety Authority figures show a sharp rise in fatalities, with the Ashanti and Eastern regions worst hit. Ashanti region recorded 163 more deaths, up by 33.5%. Eastern region recorded 146, up from 10.5%. Up by 10.5%, I beg your pardon, and Greater Accra 39, up by 10.2% compared to the same period in 2024. Despite having more than double Eastern crashes, Greater Accra's fatality rate is far lower, 10 deaths per 100 crashes versus Eastern's alarming 28. In December 2025 alone, 1,423 crashes involving 2,406 vehicles left 1,817 casualties, including 276 deaths, with all major indicators rising year on year. Nationally, in the year 2025, it closed with 14,743 crashes involving 24,938 vehicles, and they recorded 19,663 casualties, including 2,949 deaths. Well, let's go straight to our data, which we've already run you through quite a number of some of the key things in that data, if you were following us. But just so that we can give you a pictorial representation of some of the data I've read out to you just now. Road crashes reported in the year 2024 versus 2025. In 2024, you have there 13,489. Now, this is for the month of December based on the data put out today. And for the month December 2025, it rose to 14,743. It went up by some 9.3%. Let's look at the regional representation. Just like I told you, the Greater Accra region recorded some 4,533 road crashes, followed by the Ashanti region, 4,430 road crashes. In the Eastern region, 2,195 road crashes. Central, 1,064, and Western region, 773. Now, let's look at the regions with the most road crashes. Breaking it down, if you do a comparative analysis between December 2024 versus December 2025, the Greater Accra region, 523, followed by the Ashanti region, 373. Eastern, Central, and Western follow closely. When it comes to motorcycle road crashes in December 2024 versus 2025, in 2024, the motorcycle road crashes recorded was 488. That number increased by some 33.25% to 660 in the year 2025. Joining me now via Zoom is Abraham Amaliba. He's Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. I'm wondering what factors are driving the recent surge in road crashes based on data you put out earlier today.
I'm not sure the authority has put out any data today. This may be data that found its way into the system, and people are sharing it, but as an authority, we have not officially put out any data.
But can you confirm that this data is accurate?
Yes, I'm aware of this data that has been splashed on your network.
So it's accurate?
But it is clear that, yes, so we can speak to it. We can speak to it.
So let's delve right into it.
On the substantive question. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, please make your point about the substantive question, because that's what I was about to just draw your attention to once again, about what the indicators are driving this.
So, statistics or research shows that anytime the authority embarks on vigorous road safety campaign, the numbers come down. Unfortunately, last year, we were not able to do the campaigns. We were not able to do Easter campaign, New Year campaign, and even the December Christmas. But it was the result of the restructuring of the road fund. And we received 95% of our funding from the road fund. The road fund was undergoing some restructuring. And, you know, there was a bill in Parliament to rechristen it Road Maintenance Fund. This was passed late last year, and we now had the other leg of trying to put together a board for the road fund. luckily for us, this has been done now. And so this year, we are assured of funding, and I've spoken to the new administrator of the road fund, and he assured us that by next week, we shall receive our funding. But it is also due to indiscipline on the part of drivers, indiscipline on the part of pedestrians, because there are a number of pedestrians who walk on the street and don't pay particular attention to the vehicles. People ride on motorbikes and also buy headphones. All these contribute to road crashes on the road. There's also over of drivers and the lack of enforcement of traffic regulations. These are some of the things that drive the figures as you see them.
And then another concern that we received, especially from pedestrians, is the fact that walking on the streets of Accra is always a daunting task, simply because the pavement have been taken over by shop owners and individuals who sell on the pavement, and so they are forced to compete with drivers on the road. Based on your checks, how do you plan to deal with this other strand of the concern that is driving the surge in road crashes?
That is also true. The drivers themselves have complained. There was a time they nearly went on strike because of that. Because the traders have taken over the pavement, pedestrians have to compete with the drivers for the use of the roads. And so this will normally lead to crashes. The district assemblies are the first point of call when it comes to ensuring that the CDB is cleared of, hawkers, is cleared of traders. I have seen some metropolitan assemblies trying to do that, but they do it in such a way as to make it not sustainable. In other words, they clear the people, the traders, and then just go back, and they also come back onto the road. What I think we should be doing now is to have a meeting, coordinate, and collaborate with the assemblies, between the National Road Safety Authority and the assemblies, to bring permanency to the exercise and to ensure that the pavements are left for the use of pedestrians. So I'm going to take this seriously, and I'll write to the metropolitan assemblies, particularly in the big cities, so that we can have that collaboration.
And I'm just going through the data. We're looking at motorcycle crashes, comparing the data from the year 2024 and 2025. In the year 2024, December, we recorded 488. In the year 2025, December, the number rose to 660. That's worrying, especially now because there are plans to legalize the use of motorcycles. How do you plan to stem the tide, looking at the data that crashes appear to be increasing with motorcycles?
Don't forget that the use of motorcycles for commercial purposes is illegal, as we speak. There's an amendment to the law, but it has not been appended, it has not been signed by the president to become law. So as I speak to you now, using motorbikes for commercial purposes is illegal. Now, because it is illegal, the National Road Safety Authority, even if it has a capacity, if it has funding to provide them with road safety education, cannot do that because you'll be dealing with an illegal entity or an illegal group. And so what is happening at the, what do you call it, the Okada front is not different from what is happening in the vehicular front, the cars and the buses. It is also because of the fact that education has not been given to them, training has not been given to them, and so anybody who can ride a motorbike jumps onto it, and because of the lack of employment, begins to pick people for commercial purposes. Now, when the law is passed and the commercialization of Okada becomes legal, then at that point, it comes with some responsibilities. The Okada driver is supposed to undergo some training before he mounts his motorbike. The Okada driver will be identified with reflector jackets. The Okada driver will be given helmets, and the pillion driver will also be given a helmet, or rider will be given a helmet. Enforcement will be strict. They are going to operate in groups. And so if we are looking for an Okada driver who might have breached some of our road regulations, all we need to do is to look for the person from the association that he belongs to. And so what you are seeing now is not going to be the kind of things that you are seeing where we have rampant accidents or road crashes. When the law is passed, that is the time that responsibility is imposed on the Okada rider to behave well and abide by the road traffic offenses regulations. We, on our part, will now be free. Our hands will be free now to provide them with the road safety education. DVLA will also provide them with riding education. And so, together with the police MTTD, I can tell you we are going to have a new dawn for commercialization of the motorbikes.
And then we're just looking at the data. We're seeing that when it comes to the number of vehicles involved in crashes, we can see that private vehicles constituted the largest portion of vehicles involved in the crashes. Looking at the data, it represented some 41%. Would you be holding any special sensitization program for private vehicle owners to stem the tide?
We shall step up road safety campaigns. And that is how, when we engage in that, the numbers reduce. And I told you that statistics and research shows that anytime the National Road Safety Authority undertakes campaign, it leads to the reduction in road crashes. So for the private vehicles, their solution is in the intensification of our campaigns. And once they are in their cars, they are listening, they will change their way of doing things. We also think that we'll have to collaborate with the DVLA to ensure that only persons who are qualified to be behind the steering wheel are given licenses to drive. There are reports that some people drive without license from the DVLA, and I think that's not good enough. That is where I think we shall be dealing with the private car owners. But normally, we intensify our road safety campaigns. It has an effect on them.
There are also concerns about road markings and road signs on our streets, as some of the markings appear to be fading away. Is that of concern to you?
Definitely. As a regulator of the road sector, we are in touch with the urban roads. The urban roads are responsible for road markings. We are like Our role is like the PURC, where the PURC regulates electricity and water supply systems or institutions. We are also like that. So areas that there are no, or the road markings are not visible, we draw the attention of urban roads in the towns. If it is on the highways, we draw the attention of the Ghana Highways Authority. So I've instructed, and this has come to our attention, we are going to issue a compliance notice to urban roads, drawing their attention to fix some of these problems that you are raising.
And when will you be doing that?
I gave the instructions to my director in charge of compliance, and he will do that by issuing the notice, and I'm sure by Monday it will come to my attention.
Thank you so much. Abraham Amaliba is Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Also joining the conversation is Nana Yawakwada. He's a public safety advocate. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. Let's look at our roads. Are we indeed doing enough to ensure safety?
Good morning. Good afternoon to your viewers.
Good afternoon.
I think that is a sad state of affairs. Abraham Amaliba, I respect him a lot. I've known him in public life, and he has my respect. But I think that on this occasion, I'm quite disappointed, Mr. Amaliba, with your responses. When your appointment came, I was one of the people who said we're going to see a dramatic turnaround in our road experience. But I think having been in office for a while now and listening to you today, it appears to me that Mr. Amaliba is settling for, the norm. Look, before I address your questions, Mr. Amaliba did say that research has shown that anytime the National Safety Authority embarked on aggressive campaigns, the statistics indicate that the fatalities, the crashes, the numbers reduce. I don't know what relative terms he may be referring to, but I have been in this space in the last decade plus a few more years, okay? Maybe entering 2 decades. I know for a fact that in the last 10 years, back to back, year on year, if you take our road fatalities, they don't increase. Year on year, the best performance will be, under 5% increase, under 2%. But the death tolls on our roads are increasing. The number of vehicles involved in road crashes are increasing year on year. Okay. Number one, we know that in every year, at least we lose 2,000 lives on our roads. That fact cannot be disputed. And I'm sure by the time the statistics are validated in Mr. Amaliba's office or whoever validates those statistics, we will know that the numbers, are in excess of 2,000. We know the roads that take a lot of these lives. We know the causes of these, road crashes. We know the demographics that is most affected by these road crashes. What we even know in terms of regional distribution, which regions are always on the top. And you showed it right there on your screen. You could refer to the Bureau of Public Safety report since 2017. You would see that same trend as Greater Accra region, Ashanti region, Eastern region, Central, and the same trend. It doesn't change in the last 10 years, okay? And we started publishing our reports since 2017. It got truncated when COVID came. We are now putting things together to continue. and the trend doesn't change. So we know what the problem is. What we don't know is which leadership can take this bull by the horn and drive some results down for the people of Ghana. Okay, that's what we don't know. And I think that what Mr. Maliba came to say, he was just telling us, running through the causes and the problems and nothing concrete. We have come to that stage where we need something concrete to say, let's give ourselves target. You should have asked him, what is his target for this year? What percentage is he seeking to reduce road fatalities? What is he putting in it to ensure that by the end of 2026, okay, our numbers will not exceed 2,000? And I sent to Kaloni, Mas Kaloni, that look, I'm very disappointed. I wanted to have spoken before he spoke. Then I'll throw those questions out there to him. We need to convene the stakeholders, the National Road Safety Authority, the DVLA, the Police MTTD, the insurance companies and civil society organizations. Let these state agencies responsible for improving road experience on our roads have targets, and we hold them to those targets. Otherwise, every time the figures are out like this, we have Abraham come on TV and come and tell us, run us through the same things that we know already. You call MTTD, they'll run you through the same things that we know already. We've known all of this in the last 10 years. What sort of programs are we putting in place to ensure that the data will be improved, that we will save lives on our roads? Nothing. As I speak to you today, there are vehicles on our roads fitted with sirens, strobe lights, tipper trucks fitted with sirens and strobe lights, trotros, motorbikes. Nothing is going on our roads. And we have our MTTD personnel on our roads, giving handshakes. We're having vehicles, overloaded vehicles, go through all checkpoints, and then they get stuck in the city centers and create unnecessary nuisance for the traveling public. These are the teething problems we need to tackle. Until we tackle all of these things, we are not going to see any improvement. We are not going to see any improvement in the statistics that we are seeing. It's going to be same old story come 2027.
But haven't we had enough dialogue, really? Is dialogue the way forward? I'd like to wrap up with your thoughts on the operations of motorcycles and how we can ensure it is safe moving forward. Now that there's already a push for a new law to legalize it, and that has been passed by Parliament, but we're awaiting the assent of the President.
Look, we know that we have very bad roads in Ghana. There are places that vehicles are unable to access, right? And for those places, motorbikes serve, a very good purpose. So we want to wait. We cannot put a blanket no on legalization of Okada as being dangerous or bad. We want to wait to see how the law is going to be couched, how the regulations is going to be, to say, well, maybe you're going to keep Okada operations up to this place. We will not, go beyond this level. We want to wait to see what comes out. But as far as using Okada to convey goods and humans is concerned, I think that the Bureau of Public Safety, we approve it, we endorse it. We only want to see the details as to how this is going to happen. What sort of markings are going to be there? What's going to be the legal framework for that operation? And I think when that is done, that is when we would, want to critique it. When that document is out during the public engagements on these documentations, I'm hoping that the Bureau of Public Safety will be invited to also join in to review some of these things before they become laws or before they become applicable to people.
Hi, Okada. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. You're still watching The Pulse. We'll be back after this quick turn. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. This afternoon, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is mounting strong criticism against government over its continued failure to lift the ban on grain exports, even as farmers across the country struggle to sell their produce. According to the association, the situation has been worsened by the influx of imported maize, which continues to dominate the local markets, leaving locally produced grains without buyers and pushing farmers into deep financial distress. Farmers in the Upper West region are among the hardest hit, as thousands of bags of maize remain unsold despite repeated appeals for intervention. Speaking to JoyNews, the Peasant Farmers Association warned that the prolonged situation could discourage large-scale and commercial farming with dire consequences for national food safety. Before we engage the association here on the pulse, here are some farmers expressing their frustration over the worsening situation.
Last year, at this time, maize was 500 Ghana cedis a bag. That's 100 kg. But this year, like this, even 300 you will not get. 300 Ghana cedis for the 100 kg, you will not get. And during the time of planting, we bought fertilizer about 420 Ghana cedis.
I have already incurred losses this farming season. Even though I am yet to sell my bags of maize, the current market price is a clear indication that I will lose a significant amount of money.
Just even to get money to even bring those items to the house is even a challenge for us now. How will I be happy to go in for next year harvest? It's a problem. So I don't know. Many people will drop out from the farming this year.
We have seen that. Why should I come and work and take one bag of maize? Then I'm going to sell 250 or 300. That's why now, this year, they left us and ran back to Northern region and then Northeast.
This year, we couldn't get laborers to help us do harvesting.
Why?
Because of the low price of maize. Maize, okay. The price is low. So the women at Ape said the price are not good, so they will not come.
Chairman of Parliament Select Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, Dr. Godfred Seidu Jasau, has been detailing the immediate steps government plans to take in an interview on Newsdesk.
We've engaged the policymakers, we've engaged the Ministry of Agri and also the National Food Buffer Stock on co-evolving a solution that can be sustainable enough to ensure that this situation does not recur. Just before I say that, let me underscore the fact that having enough food produce in the system is actually positive. Because this is at a time that we are just recovering from food shortages and higher food price inflation. Now, this situation is resulting in a lowering of food price inflation, which means that there's actually food for Ghanaians to be able to buy. Now, buffer stock has its challenges, but like I say, let's move forward. Our forward march is that we have structured a solution to this. First of all, we have about over 40,000 metric tons of maize that are hanging in the countryside via our desktop analysis for people to buy. I mean, that has to be bought. Now, there's a financing challenge, there's an infrastructure challenge, there's an investment challenge. Financing challenge, government is approaching it by allocating 200 million Ghana cedis. Now, this has been appropriated. And so Buffer Stock has advertised and shortlisted 13 companies that are also geographically distributed in a way that you won't have them buying them from Ejura only, but you can have traceability, where some of them are located in the middle belt, some are located in the southern belt, some are located in the northern belt.
Right.
And so you have this, they are crowding in this 160 million Ghana cedis that is available to them, and then they are allowed to source in additional private financing to be able to attack the issue, buy maize, and also buy paddy rice.
Well, let's now engage the former General Secretary of GAU, Edward Karwe. We appreciate your time here on the Pulse. Let's just look at some of the concerns you've been raising. We've heard from government tell us the interventions they plan to put in place to help with the situation on the grounds, especially with buying some of your produce for the buffer stock. Your thoughts on how this will help you moving forward?
Well, good evening, and to those who are listening to us and watching us. I think we have a crisis in our hands, and we need to deal with it head on. And the situation as we have it now is that government intervention is good. However, the intervention is not sufficient enough to address the crisis. I would liken this type of crisis to a situation whereby you have a grain of in a bowl, and then it pours in the soil. You may not be able to collect everything. It is the case that we are seeking to address the crisis, but at the end of the day, we may not be able to address every part of it. There will be some part which we may not be able to address. But it leaves a lot of lessons for us. And we are all witness to the fact that because agriculture is doing well, it has helped to reset the national economic indicators of this country. For instance, national inflation has come down drastically at the level of 5-point-something% as we speak. As against previously, where food inflation used to be over 50% of national inflation. So the logic is that if food inflation comes down, it drives down national inflation. So certainly, we have all seen what the agricultural sector has contributed to stabilizing our economy and then providing food for this country. But we need to rescue the hens that lay the golden egg. That is the farmers who have invested so much and now they produce and there's no market. So I think that government, beyond the budgetary allocation, should also find additional resources to pump into purchasing the produce from the farmers. You know, it is not like we are investing in the production and we are not sure about whether or not at the end of the day the output will be good. Here is the output. We have produced it. Cost has been incurred. We have in our hands food. We cannot allow that real food to go to waste. And then we then bring in imports with scarce foreign exchange and its attendant problems to our economy and their health situation. So certainly, I would think that government needs to write the budget of the 2 million that was allocated in the national budget. They can overspend in that area by allocating additional 2 million or more to mop up the food in the system to save farmers from total loss.
But the 2022-2026 budget has already been read.
Yes, I'm saying that we are all in this country, we know that even in the past, if we were actually keeping to whatever was allocated in the budget, ask many government agencies and ministries, what was allocated for them in the budget never was disbursed to them. The disbursement never came to them. Because it's a budget, it also means you can overspend. And this is a justifiable, area that when you overspend over 100%, that is, if you allocate 200 million for the purchase of the food and you spend 4 million, it is justifiable. And I say that this is the time that an overspending is justifiable. We want government to overspend in this area to save people's livelihoods, not only to save the situation today, but also to capacitize the individual farmers to be able to produce subsequently. You know, so it's not about the loss that they will incur now. If they incur loss today and yet they are able to produce next time, we may say, I mean, the situation is not a zero sum. But where, if they lose now, they will just not be able to produce next time, then that is double agony for the farmers and for all of us, the consumers, and the health of the economy into the future. I don't think that the current good health that we have about the economy, we want it to continue. We want it to even come better. So for it not to be a 9-day wonder, it is better for government to source additional 200 million to support in mopping up the food stamps that are in the system. They should overspend. I mean, there is no law that says that you cannot overspend what is in the budget. Otherwise, the law would have held previous governments for spending less than what they budgeted for. So we can overspend and justify it. And this is one of the areas that every Ghanaian would agree with government to overspend.
You still feel that we should lift that ban on the export of maize, even though government says they will be buying some of the produce from the farmers?
Well, lifting the ban is a very double-sword policy. It can, you can have all the what you produce here exported, and within 2 months or so, there will be nothing left behind for Ghanaians to consume. We have had this experience in the past before. So, lifting the ban for export is a very tricky matter. But what is certain is that if you don't lift the ban and you provide an additional 200 million, so to speak, or more, then you mop up what is in the system, you have the food in the country. You see, the money goes to our farmers, and at the same time, you have the food within. But if you lift the ban, yes, and the farmers, we are able to export our produce, yes, they will get money, but the food does not stay in the country because the food will go somewhere. Only the money will be left here. But when you spend the money on the farmers by government budget, then we have the money in Ghana, and at the same time, we have the food in Ghana. So anything that depends on food will not suffer. But where there's absence of food and there's even availability of food, we know what happens. It shoots up national inflation. And we know national inflation, if it goes so high, it's never good for anybody at all. It's not good for the statistics. It's not good for Ghanaian consumers. It's not good for producers. So the best solution today is to allocate more money to mop up the excess food within the system than to lift the ban. And then at the end of the day, the food is all exported, money is within, and then there's no food, and food prices go up, and it disturbs all the national economic system.
Thank you so much, Edward Karewe. He is former General Secretary for GAO. We appreciate your time here on the Pulse. Still on agriculture, rice farmers along Ghana's largest irrigation project, the Pong Irrigation Scheme, are battling mountain losses as tons of harvested rice remain unpurchased. Despite government assurances and directives to deploy aggregators to absorb the surplus, farmers insist no intervention has reached them. On a working visit to the scheme, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, sought to calm tensions, promising the introduction of millers to process the excess paddy rice. My colleague Maxwell Aklobotu has more in the following report.
Under the scorching sun of Pong, heaps of freshly harvested rice sit idle. What should be seasons of profits are instead becoming seasons of losses for farmers along Ghana's largest irrigation project, simply because there are no buyers. During a working visit to Pong Irrigation Scheme, the farmers explained how the situation was pushing many of them into idleness and financial distress. Charles Tetehombe is the president of the Federation of Water Users Association.
We
produce, but we can't sell. That is our major issue. The paddy we produce, we cannot sell because there is no market. Government has announced and put in place that we will be having off-takers and aggregators who off-take our rice. Currently, as we are here now, we did not see aggregators or off-takers who are taking our rice.
Addressing the concerns, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, assured the farmers that government will support the milling of their paddy rice to make it suitable for purchase by the National Buffer Stock Company.
Our farmers have invested so much in production. They have produced so much, and they are not getting the market for their produce. This is disincentive to further production. Buffer stock is not procuring paddy. They are procuring milled rice. And so we are now having some contracts with the millers. We want to empower the millers, make resources available to the millers for them to buy, do the milling, and then send to buffer stock.
Aside from the working visits, attention was drawn to the deplorable state of the roads leading to the farms. The minister, however, assured that the roads will be included in the over 1,000-kilometer schedule to be tarred under the current administration.
I'm also happy to note that as part of the project, we are also fixing some of the roads, except that the major road must also be included.
With tons of rice still sitting idle and roads that barely allow passage, farmers at Pong faces a challenging future. Government assurances may offer hope, but the real test lies in action. For JoyNews, Maxwell Aklobatos report read to you.
Well, you're still watching The Pulse. The First Sky Group is a dynamic, wholly Ghanaian-owned holding company with subsidiaries spanning hospitality, construction, insurance, banking, commodity trading, and bitumen processing. The group employs more than 5,000 people across multiple sites, offices, and operational locations throughout the country. In 2026, the First Sky Group marked the 23 years of operation in excellence and dedicated service to the country. Well, each year, the group holds an annual Thanksgiving service, a flagship spiritual gathering filled with praise, prayer, and worship. Well, join me now via Zoom, General Manager of Western Serene Atlantic Hotel. You know that First Sky Group actually owns Western Serene Atlantic Hotel. Hi, Abna Isubonte.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, we've just been telling our audience a little bit about Sky Group, but you're here with us, so let's start on that note. We know that Sky Group is 23 years old. Tell us more about your operations.
Okay, so the First Sky Group, it's a group of companies in various aspects of industry or sectors in the country. Currently, we have, to our credit, 8 different subsidiaries in various sectors. We have the hospitality sector. Currently, the hospitality sector is made up of 2 running hotels. We have Volta Serene Hotels, which runs a 300 luxurious accommodation. We also have Western Serene Atlantic Hotel located in Takrady. That is for the hotel. A third baby is on the way, but we will discuss that later. And then we have energy. The energy sector as that is First Sky Energy. We are a first class in the oil and gas industry. So that is for energy. And then we also have the Rural Bank, that is Federal Rural Bank, giving support to market women, especially located, or this Federal Bank could be found in the Bando and Ho regions. And then we have bitumen. We have bitumen. Bitumen is into, processing and sales of bitumen products and emulsions. So that is for bitumen. We also have Serene Insurance. Serene Insurance is a general insurance company in Ghana offering, top-notch services to customers. Talk of motor insurance, talk of your vehicle, talk of any other insurance, property. Serene Insurance is the best place to go. And then we have, of course, the mother of all the companies. We have Fair Sky Construction. Fair Sky Construction is a company that provides first-class road construction and civil engineering services in Ghana. Believing that, we also have Commodities. Commodities is a licensed cocoa and buying company. So basically, these are the companies that we have that forms the Fair Sky Group. As you can see, we are, we are just across all this, almost every sector in the country. So in the nutshell, this is who we are. And this is what we represent. We give top-notch service, first class and excellence service to customers, vendors, and all stakeholders.
And I know annually you always hold a Thanksgiving service to start the year. What should we expect this year? When is it happening and where?
Okay, so this year, of course, like you rightly said, we are 23 and 23 giving thanks to God. Our theme for this year is proclaiming the mighty deed of God. Proclaiming the mighty deeds of God. This can be found in Psalm 71, 15 to 16. The lineup of activities include an all-night service, which is happening tonight, starting at 10 p.m. at the Trinity Temple Assemblies of God Church, Tema Community 10, so 10 p.m. And then the climax of the event after tonight, it's on Sunday, 25th January at the Accra International Conference Center. That is the Thanksgiving service. That is a Thanksgiving service. So tonight we have on the list, in terms of the host pastors or the speakers for tonight, we have Reverend Sujit. We have Reverend Sujit coming from UK. He is the leader of Thames North Church in the UK. And then we also have Reverend Mark Sese coming from Sierra Leone. He is the Assistant General Superintendent for the Assemblies of God Church in Sierra Leone. We have our very own Reverend Aaron Fant. Reverend Aaron Fant is the senior pastor at Wind and Fire Assemblies of God Ministries in Tamale. So this is for tonight, Friday. In ministration, we have Uncle Ato, and then we also have our own internal choir, that is Western Syrian choir. We invite everybody to join us tonight as we pray into the year. And then on the 25th, we have wonderful men of God coming together to join us to praise God. The guest speaker is Reverend Dominic Yeo from Singapore. He is a global superintendent for Assemblies of God Church. And then we also have the chairman for the occasion, the Apostle General, Sam Kranche Ankara, General Overseer for Royal House Chapel International. And then we also have our guest of honor, that is the President of the nation, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, with the Vice President. They will be there to grace the occasion. We have other wonderful men of God joining us to give thanks to God. So we have Archbishop Duncan, Nicholas Duncan Williams of Ashen Chapel. We also have, in ministry, we have Minister Kofi Owusu-Odro. He will be leading us with, some great tunes and some praises. So join us. It's open. Join
so
us
it's open to the public and not just staff?
Exactly. It's open to the public. All staff of the Fair Sky Group, we are meeting together with our stakeholders, our vendors, and we are equally inviting the general public to be with us.
Is it free?
It is absolutely free.
And what should we expect, especially on that day when we come for the events you have lined up? As we wrap up the conversation, what should we expect?
We expect a moment of praise, a moment of thanksgiving, a moment of joy, appreciation to God for seeing us through the year 2025 and ushering us into the new one. So it's purely praise and thanksgiving. That is what we will be expecting.
Thank you so much, Abnai, and Happy New Year to you. And that's how we wrap up the polls. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. We will be seeing you back here by God's grace on Monday. Have a pleasant weekend. My name is Faustina Safo. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Good afternoon.